Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Formula One. I'm your host, Jamie. I'm here with my sister, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
And just to start from the top, my deepest apologies for the lack of episode last week. That one was on me. I unfortunately had to pull the classic chronic illness card, and I was not feeling great last week. But we will overcome. We will persevere. And shout out to my doctor.
Now. You look amazing.
And and I feel it? Not quite. But
Not there yet.
Yeah, we're on the right path. Actually, I have this oversharing to all of the podcasters, the fam? I don't know. I'm going to go get labs next week, so we'll really see then if I'm better or not. I feel like that's not oversharing. I share everything with you.
I know. I thought you were going to talk about something else, like the other tests that you've had to do, and I was like,
no.
That might be oversharing.
No. Just blood work. But we are back, and we have plenty of things have happened since we were last chatting. So to dive into some news before we get into a recap of the race that we had this past weekend. Number one, McLaren. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about this, Jack, because we have not connected about this, but McLaren's running a special Senna tribute livery for the race this weekend in Monaco and special race suits. Jack, what do you think of the livery?
I'm obsessed.
So they
I guess all it took for no papaya on the car is
Senna.
Which,
I mean, if you're going to do it for one person.
Yeah. I mean, that is pretty high standards. Yeah. Me begging for a chrome car.
I mean, Silverstone has yet to happen this year. They could do it.
That's true. Maybe... I wonder because, Lando won, two races ago. He still gets to pick something, his prize from Zach Brown. And Lando, if we could suggest, it would be, can we do, fully chrome car, please, livery. I think they're sick. I'm a big Senna fan, so my two loves.
If you haven't seen it, the car is like Brazil flag color / Senna's famous helmet. So it's yellow, green, and blue, and the race suits are the same. I love the livery. I love that they finally committed to one.
Yeah.
Like teams that I feel like
any team, because obviously the monstrosity that was the Ferrari livery in Miami.
Horrible thing.
I don't know. I was talking about this with somebody else. I was like, I don't know why I fully expected a blue car, because I don't know why, but I still feel cheated.
Just commit. Well, because they kept saying our blue livery, and it was not. It was bad.
It was just 1,000 HP logos.
Yeah, and they kept the HP logo rear wing, which I have also issues with. But it's really cool. I'm glad to see that they finally fully committed. I was hoping for the Marlboro Senna livery on the car.
Yeah.
Which would have been really cool, but I am happy. I'm not, beggars cannot be choosers, and I understand that. So
I bet they couldn't, though, because of their big sponsor is of a vape.
Right. Yeah. And I was thinking they probably couldn't do it for some sort of reason like that. It's also you can't advertise cigarettes anymore. And I think even if they didn't have the Marlboro, there would have been possible issues with just alluding to it.
Yeah. That would have been so cool if they were able to bring all of it back. But I don't know what the rules are in Monaco or and things like that.
Just TV. Yeah. But Lando also has a special helmet that's really cool. It's his design that he has for this year, but it's chrome with the yellow, I think, and green.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, so very cool there. But really.
Hopefully he does a mini. Hopefully he does a mini of it, because then I could see that being my first mini helmet.
A chrome one, yeah.
A chrome one. We talked about this. I can't remember what. The Lewis Japan. I really loved that one. That one was so sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah. But it was just genuinely surprising to me that they committed this hard to the livery, because I saw it first thing in the morning and I was like, fake. I was like, it's
Oh
just
yeah,
one
I
of the
thought it was
fan ones.
fake.
I thought it was one
I
of
thought it
like
was
those
fake.
fan ones that people make that are always so much better. But it was
Yeah.
real.
I thought it was fake, or I thought it was like what Seb was gonna drive or something. Like I don't know what I thought. I was just like,
Yeah.
this is fake. And then they announced it. It was like on their Instagram. I was like,
Thank
thank
God.
you.
Yeah. So very exciting. And other exciting news over at the Andretti camp, the Andretti team, Andretti Cadillac, has announced that they've hired the former F1 chief technical officer, Pat Simons. So this
Pretty
is,
cool.
I mean, really
They're-
cool, one. And two, they're checking off every box that all of those little things, I feel like, that F1 was like, well, you can't be a team because of XYZ. They're like, okay, well, we have a fully staffed brand new facility in Europe ready to go. We have US Congress on our side. We have
Yeah.
we have Cadillac as an engine supplier, and now we have Pat Simons. So, what more do you want?
How do you think they got him to like sign on? Just saying we're going to be on the grid. It's gonna happen. We just gotta get over like this tiny hump.
Well, I'm sure like Pat has the context and understanding of like what their status is, but I think it's like it shows to me that he believes in them and he
Yeah.
believes in, which is, I find it promising and exciting. And I also find it interesting to see who they're going to replace him with, because a certain technical expert by the name of Adrian is currently unemployed. So that's where my brain went. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. But overall, just very exciting. Shall we jump to silly season corner?
My favorite season.
The season that has been all year long nonstop.
Yeah. That started in the summer.
Started many moons ago.
Yeah.
Alex Albon announced that he has extended his contract with Williams. No word from what I could see on exactly how long that is. It's just that it's a multi-year contract. So again, it's exciting to me. It speaks to, again, sort of the same idea of like, it seems like he believes in the Williams project. He believes in James Vowles. I am a little bit like, oh, I would have loved to see Alex in a more competitive car, especially with how Williams are doing this year.
Yeah.
But I do think it bodes well for possibly the future and maybe what they have coming.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Williams right now. I love Williams. We both love Williams. We both love James Vowles. Both love Alex Albon. Big fans.
And Logie.
And Logan. Yes. Our American Prince. I don't know if like everyone's just doing that much better and they're getting left behind, or because they did really bad this past weekend.
Yeah, they were significantly off pace, not only from the Red Bulls and the Ferraris, but from the Saubers and the Alpines,
which is just like a dagger in the heart. Dude.
Yeah. So I don't know what their plan for the rest of the season is. I haven't heard too much in terms of any upgrades that they'll be bringing. I'm sure they'll bring something, but it seems not their season, which stinks because it really last year towards the end, it was not crazy uncommon for Alex to be finishing the points. Haven't quite had that type of stuff happening, but we'll see. Continuing in silly season corner, there are some rumors that, based on other rumors, it seems that possibly Carlos will be going to Sauber in 2025, which was seeming kind of a funny one because this time last year and even before then, it was sort of a foregone conclusion that Carlos would be going to Audi when Sauber becomes Audi in 2026. Then Lewis Hamilton announces that he is moving to Ferrari in 2025, which then leaves this 1 year sort of gap where will Carlos go while it's still Sauber? And also the driver market is now all shaken up because of Lewis, and there's so many new seats becoming available. What will happen? But it is seeming like it probably will be Sauber. One, because Mercedes is seriously looking at Kimi Antonelli. He's like their young prodigy. He's supposed to be next Max Verstappen. So looking to bring him up and bring him into the Mercedes seat, which is interesting because typically with like younger drivers, they'll bring them into like a Williams or, for example, Max started at Toro Rosso. So that will be interesting. I'm here for it. And then
I would love to see a rookie
yeah.
in the Mercedes seat, especially because they have been struggling. Why not start from kind of a newer perspective? Why not?
I will say, and this might bring us to a bit of a tangent, but, and I don't know if I've brought this up before, the mirrors of George Russell's career and Daniel Ricciardo's career are crazy. Have I told you? Have I spouted this theory before? Tinfoil hat time. Not
this
really.
Is only his second team.
So my George Russell waits in sort of the wings at Williams, and his whole thing is like, I am about to go to this nonstop, unstoppable, dominant team, and I'll be driving with. I think what was Lewis at the time when George was a rookie, a 6-time world champion.
Yeah.
5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
He finally gets the chance at that seat, and the team suddenly starts falling off. The super uber successful world champion goes to Ferrari, and then possibly now he will be replaced with the young prodigy. Daniel Ricciardo waits on, I believe it was still called Toro Rosso at the time. He was on Toro Rosso. Seb and Red Bull are winning everything. He gets the seat. Red Bull starts to fall off. Seb moves to Ferrari, and then Mr. Max Verstappen comes in. And obviously timelines are a little bit shifted, right? Like Daniel Kvyat was Daniel's teammate for a little bit of time, so it's not 1-to-1.
Yeah.
But think about that's crazy.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. George seems so in love with Mercedes. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
So I mean, and you know, that those parallels are parallels. Who knows what's going to happen with Mercedes? Who knows? Who's to say, right? Especially with engine changes coming in 2026. World is oyster. But yeah, wild. Speaking of, though, the dominant Red Bull team, sounds the whispers going around that they're looking to re-sign Sergio Perez, who has been strong up until this weekend.
Yeah.
Has been very strong. So that does make sense. I am curious to see how the rest of the season goes for him, because he did have a strong start to last season and has had strong starts to previous seasons as well. And then struggles later in the year. So
and
I
like
wonder
feels
if
the pressure and then just like crumbles. That's literally what happened last year.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes and how that affects that decision. But yeah, all signs are pointing to a contract extension there. And our friends over at Alpine, which this is exciting news, but this is precarious exciting because they have confirmed that they are looking at Mick Schumacher.
Yeah. Said that they love what he's doing at WEC. In WEC. At WEC. I don't know what the term is, but.
Which we love Mick Schumacher. I mean, the idea of him being back on the grid makes me very, very excited.
I like him. I like the idea of him being back a little bit more seasoned as like a driver.
Right. Giving
He's
him
been the reserve in Mercedes. He's in WEC.
And possibly in a bit of a better environment than where he was. If you recall, again, big Mick Schumacher fans. If you have listened since the beginning, if you're one of the OGs, you remember the episode we had when it was announced that Mick Schumacher would not be returning, and I promptly added Gunther Steiner to my enemy list.
That's the reason I like, I kind of said, bye-bye, get out, like when he was said he wasn't coming back. I was like, bye.
See ya, Gunther. So I am excited at the idea of him coming back to the grid. And like you said, being a little bit more seasoned, a bit more experienced.
Yeah.
However, with Alpine.
Yeah.
Is
that what you said? You said at what cost?
At what cost?
Back on the grid.
At what cost to get him back on the grid? In Alpine, the team that's, I guess
tractor.
Yeah, really struggling this year. Clearly, at least from what we saw in Drive to Survive, struggling with leadership.
Yeah, so we saw the team principal because they interviewed him for Imola, and it's the same team principal from last year who said he has no idea what he's doing. Pretty much,
yeah. Wasn't he supposed to be temporary?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so I will be happy that there is Mick Schumacher back on the grid. My heart will break a little bit inside every time, though, if the car is again as bad as it was this year, next year.
Question for you. Who is he replacing?
I'm pretty sure Esteban's contract is up at the end of this year. But, and that's just, I believe that that's the case. It could be that both of their contracts are up, in which case, I think if it's between the two and we're looking at performance, Esteban's been stronger this year than Pierre.
Let me see if there's one of those little graphics.
My favorite thing about, speaking of those little graphics, it's if you don't know what we're talking about, F1 will do check-ins throughout the year, typically after like 1 or 2 contract announcements have been made, and they'll fill in the grid. So they'll have like blocked out spaces for like unconfirmed drivers and stuff. And my favorite thing about those is they always have Lance as blocked out, unconfirmed.
Yeah, it's questionable.
And then right at the end, after we get the last one, they just say, "Oh, complete." And no one ever says anything about or Lance's.
No, I don't know if anyone can see this now with my ring light. Probably not. But Alpine is both spots are questions.
So we're both up for grabs.
So the 2025 lineup at this point in time: Max Verstappen with who knows, Charles and Lewis
at Ferrari,
Lance at Aston Martin with
Lance, but currently he's a question mark.
It is currently a question mark.
Yeah, it's so funny. They do it every year.
Alex Albon and question mark at Williams. Nico Hulkenberg and question mark at Kick Sauber. Both Haas seats are up. Both Red Bull VCarb seats are up. Both Alpine seats are up for grabs. Lando and Oscar are signed on for McLaren next year, and then only George Russell is signed on for Mercedes next year. So a lot of seats.
We still got a lot to go. We got a lot.
I don't know if I can emotionally handle this. This is gonna have to come at like perfect times.
We need some good, fun, happy news. Maybe they need to, because I've already just convinced myself that Ollie's getting the Haas seat. So they need to schedule that announcement maybe like after something not so great. Because I know we're gonna get some announcements that are gonna be not great.
Yeah.
Like maybe after the Carlos de Sauber announcement, I'll need the Ollie pick me up. Because I will follow that man anywhere, Mr. Carlos Sainz. But I will be very
You're gonna get some Sauber merch.
I am not wearing that ugly green. No. I will wear Carlos merch.
Be for real though. Sauber's internet presence is incredible.
Yes. Shout out to the Sauber social media team. You guys are great.
Incredible. Valtteri, I think they definitely learned from Arrow McLaren. Yeah, and they have two drivers who are down to be silly.
Right. Yeah.
So
Valtteri and Joe are great in those TikToks, which is definitely helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, if you could just make sure that the Ollie to Haas announcement happens after one that you think I might not be happy about. F1, if you're listening, thank you very, very much.
Haas, if you're listening, please, actually, hopefully you don't, because I feel like we've badmouthed you a little bit.
Well, I feel like it's particularly to Gunther, who's not there anymore.
Yeah, it is.
Said something
And
about
it's
Gene.
all just fine.
Yeah. The other thing is, I stand by it. So not sorry. Other exciting news, not silly season related, but family related. Charles Leclerc has adopted a new son.
Is it technically 2 sons?
Well, it's a new son. He's adopted a new son because he
Oh,
already
new
had
son. Yeah.
he already
He
had
had the one.
He had the one puppy, Leo, very cute. And just this past weekend, Oscar Piastri has made this fun new trend of every time before he goes to a race, he announces that he's the most minute percent that so that he can claim it as his own race. And this began with China, where he announced, I'm 1/16th Chinese, so does this make it my 1/16th home race? And then there were some really cute signs, which I think fueled him.
Yeah, this is our fault.
Yeah, because whoever
Us as fans.
it was a really cute sign that was like, welcome 1/16th home with our 100 out of 100 love. Very cute. But then this little goblin decides before Imola to announce he's 2/16th Italian, which is not the right way to do that fraction. That means 1/8.
Yeah. Well,
Even I could do that, and I don't know
he didn't go to real school.
I don't know how to do math, and I could do that. So then now after Imola, he then decides I'm setting my sights on the next race. He tweets, searching my family tree for any Monegasque roots, to which Charles Leclerc so kindly responds, I can adopt you if needed. So great to have family members on the grid, really exciting.
I'm sure Nicole's thrilled.
I don't think we've had family members racing with each other since Ralph and Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
Have we had someone since then? Because Michael and Mario Andretti did not race together in F1.
No. Too far apart.
So
I don't think so. Well, Seb is like Mick Schumacher's second dad.
But not like blood related.
They're both German.
Well, I guess, yeah. They're both German.
There's got to be some line there.
Yeah. So poor Oscar, though. I don't know if he thought about the fact that the Leclercs are cursed when it comes to racing in Monaco. So I don't know if this was the best choice he's ever made.
Not for my McLaren boys.
Yeah.
We'll keep that away.
So we'll see. We will see. But some really exciting news. Congratulations, Charles, on your new son. Congratulations, Oscar, on your new dad. That's awesome. In the world of IndyCar, lots of stuff happening. It's the month of May, which is huge, huge, huge stuff. Lots of Indy 500 things. So number one, we do have our dear friend Callum Ilott driving the number 6 car, which was David Malukas' car, the Aero McLaren number 6. He is driving for the 500. So we have Callum back for a race. And then it was announced that after the 500, Teo Porcher will take over the car for the rest of the races. This Teo taking over the car was announced before the 500, and he had passed an oval test. But even if technically, and I don't know if it was enough oval testing to even allow him to race in the 500, even if it was, I think Aero McLaren was like, that would be, imagine, that is so mean to do to someone, to be like, your first oval race is the Indy 500.
Good luck.
You got this.
Thoughts and prayers.
So Callum will be driving. Jamie Chadwick, also a couple weeks ago, we had our race at the IMS road course. So not the oval, the road course within the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And she had her first ever podium in Indy Next. She got P3.
Go, Jamie.
Go Jamie. Shout out to Jamie's everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we did have qualifying for the Indy 500. Indy 500 qualifying is like a crazy event in itself. I was watching this past weekend, but it's a multi-day event. It's crazy. It's four laps around, average of that. And then there are 33 grid spots. So, and there were, I think, 34 people this year trying to qualify. So then
it's so embarrassing.
I know. So you do all of Saturday's qualifying. You do your 4 laps, and then you can retry. You can re-enter the line and re-go through and re-qualify. But if you do that, your previous time gets out. So if you do worse, that stinks. And then on Sunday, it is the Fast 12, and then they do the Fast 6, and then from there they get the pole winner. And then that's again 4 laps around, same format. And they do bump day. So it's the bottom 4 or 5, and the slowest person there gets bumped. So unfortunately, this year we will not be seeing Nolan Siegel racing, but he's a rookie, so I'm sure he will be back. He's young. We will see him again.
I hate that there's only one person.
I know. It's really, I don't like to watch the bump part. It makes me sad.
It's way more intense than like.
But I think they do the day. I think they do it intentionally because they do the Fast 12 and then they do the bump and then they do the Fast 6. So you get like a happiness after that. And our friend, the Thirsty Threes, Mr. Scotty Mack, is on pole for the Indy 500 this year. My close personal friend who I know dearly. I've never met him.
Do you think, was her name Georgina was in the car? Was she in attendance?
No, Georgina's in Alabama. She was back up, actually. I saw an update.
She's back up?
From Barber Motorsports Park.
Oh, I thought he got to keep her.
No, the mannequin that fell at Barber Motorsports Park, she is back. She has a new outfit and everything.
I love that for her.
Yeah. And other fun stuff happening, obviously the 500, is e.l.f., the makeup brand, is sponsoring a car. Catherine Legg is racing, and they're sponsoring her car. Very cute pink car. Love it. And they are also running an activation during the 500. And it's all like motorsport themed. I'm really excited to see pictures of it. They'll have it starting Friday the 24th. It's a, quote, immersive activation space that empowers legendary females and history makers with a festival-style footprint that will continue through the race Sunday, May 26th. At the heart of this 40x40 interactive experience is the Lip Oil Change, a racetrack-themed activation with the pit crew of glow-up artists, limited edition merchandise, including bumper stickers, a female DJ to get the party started, and of course, e.l.f.'s Holy Grail, Glow Reviver lip oils. How fun!
That sounds really fun. I love that.
So if you happen to be at the 500, make sure you stop by and get a lip oil change.
I love that.
That is so cute. And I saw some of the bumper stickers too. They're like all like driving and car themed. So like some of them say, eyeliner as sharp as my turns. Please let me merge before my mascara runs. That was me.
I love that.
So really exciting. And yeah, we have the 500 this weekend. So this is like the biggest weekend, I feel like this is the biggest weekend in motorsports. So lots of fun stuff happening. But backing up to the most recent weekend we were over in Imola. Racing, being Italian, eating pizza.
Pasta.
I'd have to look back through our 23andMe, but I don't believe that we are any Italian.
I don't think we're any Italian. We burn way too easily.
Yeah,
we're just like, we're the UKs. We're the Scottish, British, Irish.
The Isles.
And Polish. But that's not the UK. Yeah.
But that
Polish is our like one outlier. Yeah, it's not helpful.
But obviously lots of stuff happening for Senna. It was the 30-year anniversary of his death this year. And Seb ran a lovely and beautiful tribute. One, he organized a run for everyone with t-shirts.
Well, run for some, for
run
most.
for some. Looking at
I'm
you,
kidding.
2025 Ferrari driver lineup. None
Yeah.
of them ran. They both were on wheels. But t-shirts for everybody. It was really sweet.
Yeah.
And then he had a custom Senna race suit that he drove in, and he drove Senna's McLaren MP48, I believe it was. So it was a really lovely tribute, and it's always just really nice to have Seb on the track.
I love you, Seb. Seb could take one of those spots.
I was like hoping that I was like, I hope he's in this car and seeing the crowd and being like, I miss it.
I did see a quote where he was talking afterwards and he was just like, it was just so special. And he was like so overwhelmed with like emotion afterwards. And I was like, it's so overwhelmed with emotion because you want to come back.
I think that was probably overwhelmed with emotion of like driving Senna's car with the anniversary of his death more.
Yeah. Probably.
But come on. There's so many open seats, Seb. You could take any of them.
Anyone would give you any of them.
Yeah.
You literally would have your pick. I think Lawrence Stroll would give you Lance's seat. I really do.
You could surprise all of us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Alonso and Seb teammates.
That would be wild. They would have such good press.
Oh, it would be gorgeous. It would be so gorgeous.
Oh, I love it. My ideal lineup.
But following the tributes, we did head into quali. And there were some really, really interesting, fun things happening in quali. My first note from here is Nico goes P1 and Q1, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. But she didn't finish Q1, P1. Finished like P3 though. But for a good chunk of time, he was sitting P1, Nico Hulkenberg in the Haas.
Yeah. What was wait, I'm going to look up Jamie. She's like, are you watching? Question mark. And then just sent me a GIF or sent me a meme. And it was, let's see, where is it?
What?
Gotta scroll up. We talk to each other a lot, so I gotta scroll up. It goes, what the hell is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas?
me seeing Nico P1. Nico P1? The hell is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas?
I've never seen that. I've never seen that meme before, but it was very funny to walk out of my yoga class because I timed it poorly. To walk out of my yoga class with that.
Well, I also didn't want to spoil too much because I knew that if you were watching, you would have texted me back right away. So I was like, okay, I'll stop there. But out in Q1, we had K-Mag, Logie Bear, Fernando, which was a shock. Nando out in Q1. Valtteri and Joe.
Did they ever say what was going on with that? Because I feel like he was in the pit mostly.
Yeah, he was struggling. I don't recall them mentioning, but I would have to assume it's something set up. I mean, he struggled all weekend. It was not his weekend. But then we headed out again for Q2, where at one point Yuki was running P2.
I know.
There's so many fun little places. I kept being like, oh, we should stop quali right now because this would be a really fun grid.
End it. Yeah. Someone presses one button and it's over. Could you imagine if that's how it was?
Oh my gosh.
I finished that lap.
I should make note of it for our next pretending to be the FIA president episode.
Or this weekend we just take a photo and we're like, this is the grid.
Enough.
I don't know what you guys were seeing, but this is the grid.
Yeah, we should just start spreading false information on the web. That's
honestly, how funny would that be if I just posted online being like, you guys, I can't believe Lando first.
Should we start doing fake news Fridays? And we just start spewing fake news every Friday, and it'll be an inside joke with all of us and the listeners. And so that everybody that just follows us on social media and doesn't listen to the episodes won't know what's going on.
So what we'll need is for our listeners who do follow us on social media to send us some suggestions for fake news that we should start, and we'll do it.
Hit us up in the DMs.
Twist our arm. We'll do it.
Hit us up in the DMs, or you have my email. I think is in our bios. Hit us up. What are your theories you think we should spout this Friday?
At Famula1 on TikTok and on Instagram.
Yes.
DM us.
Hit us. DMs are open. So
DMs are wide open.
Yes. Yeah. If you want to tell us a story.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know what's going on in your life. Yeah.
No one's tried to message us in a while, and it makes me sad.
I know. Same.
So
message us. We'd love to chat. But Checo, Mr. getting re-signed to Red Bull.
Yeah.
Was out Q2.
Yeah. Yeah, not a great overall weekend for Checo. That definitely hurt if he is in conversation with them to renew the contract, that he definitely maybe lost a couple of $100 off that.
Yeah. I don't think it wasn't so bad that it would like stop talks.
Yeah,
but it was it was not ideal. That car, which we all know, that car should not be out in Q2.
No.
Also out in Q2 was both the Alpines, Lance, Alex Albon. So those were, both Alpines made it to Q2. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's why they interviewed the principal. Yeah. I almost said the president. The principal.
The president.
And I was like,
the president of Alpine.
Imagine how crazy bad you have to be doing that. It's like, you guys both made it to Q2. Let's chat. It was wild.
It's crazy that what was it, 2 years ago? They were beating McLaren.
Dude, well, now I'm getting everything combined, but when did this is Pierre's first year with them, correct? Second year?
Second year.
Second year. I remember when he announced that he was going, I was so stoked for him because Alpine had a quick car. Super quick. And
I think the year that he announced he was switching, timelines.
I think they beat
McLaren in the constructors.
when McLaren and them were going head to head.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so excited for him to be in a fast car. And oh my God, I'm a part of the curse.
The curse is part of your curse. What is it? What is the name of our curse that we decided? It's clutching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah. Clutching defeat from the jaws of victory. That's the curse. Oh, I'm sorry, Pierre. I genuinely was rooting for you.
Oh gosh. You know what we are? We're the Albatross, Taylor Swift song. We're here to destroy.
I haven't fully digested that album, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. So I'll just take your word for it.
It came out.
I know,
forget
but
how the music exists.
I haven't fully dissected. There's so many words I need to look up. So it takes me a while. She's a walking thesaurus.
If any SAT tutors are listening, shout out SAT
Taylor
tutors.
Swift.
Make your students listen to the Tortured Poets department. There's tons of words in there.
Honestly, don't make them take Latin, like these two goobers here.
Yeah. She does at one point say persona non grata, and I was like, I know that's a term, but I was also like, I know that because I took 3 years of Latin.
I took 4 years, and I don't know what that means.
It's like a term. It's like quid pro quo. That's also Latin.
I know what that means. Moving on.
So our quali results were Max was on pole. Shocking. Oscar P2 and Lando P3, which was really exciting. McLaren double top 3, and then Oscar got a penalty for impeding K-Mag. Oh
my God. No.
Which it's so sad when that happens, because it's like it was more on the race engineer to let him know that K-Mag was coming, but Oscar gets the ding for it. So Oscar was demoted to P5. So our new top 3 were Max on pole, Lando P2, and Charles Leclerc, which was exciting at a Ferrari home race, P3.
Yeah.
So I was still very happy with this top three. I was happier with it. Red. In
Yeah.
the top three.
I liked the other one better, but you know what?
And then this also meant that Oscar and Carlos would be starting next to each other, who the two of them have a bit of a history. There were so many good tweets. There was one, Jack, I'll send it to you later. There was one, and it was like Carlos to Oscar at Lights Out, and it was just this clip of these two guys just standing there, and then one of them just turns and punches the other one in the face and just runs.
I know like Carlos is like kind of on a rampage right now, and I feel for him. Love you, baby girl. Love you.
I love every second of it.
But leave my Oscar alone, honestly.
It's so funny. That man can do no wrong in my eyes. So go for it, Carlos.
No, leave mine alone. You can go after you can even go after Lando, honestly, just not my Oscar.
Yeah, it is funny how he's just picked Oscar out of all of them, because they
had like one thing happen in like the last race, and it was like Carlos is like, that's it.
They were at each other last year too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
So, but then we get to the race, and Fernando, again, hard weekend for him. So he started from the pit lane due to setup changes. So quali obviously didn't go that well. Let's try something else. And Max did get away at the start, like was already in the lead, but Lando was not too far off. And then here again in my notes, because for just a little behind the scenes how we do this, I take notes while I'm watching the race, and then we sort of build the episode around the notes and kind of add details where they need to be added. So my notes here just say Oscar and Carlos battling (, typical.
Typical.
Each other.
Typical in the Schmidt voice from New Girl.
Yeah.
Typical. The gaps also, I don't think we talked about this on race day. The gaps in the top 10 were kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like 8 seconds between people, 7, 5. Like it was, they were some
not
large
at the
gaps.
front.
Not at the front. No.
Yeah, which was usually if Max gets away at the start by like lap 4, he's 30 seconds ahead.
Yeah, he's gone.
But yeah, big gaps at the front, and then also, which typically I feel like happens, but big gaps at the back too. I don't know if you were looking, obviously Nando was behind because he started at the pit lane, but then like Logan was like 30 seconds behind people.
So far behind. I laugh because otherwise I'll cry.
Laugh or else we'll cry. He finished. Spoiler alert: Logan finished the race, which we're gonna be happy.
I know everyone
we're
was
gonna take our
waiting with bated breath if he finished.
Yeah,
but you know what he did.
And over in the other Williams, there was some trouble though.
Yeah,
it looked like it was very weird. It looked like so Alex Albon came in for a pit stop, and it looked like one of the wheels didn't go on properly. But then it was one of those where like usually when there's a loose wheel, you like see it in the onboard, and you're like, "Oh, that's a loose wheel." But
it's this pretty obvious.
Was, like,
normally,
and I feel like everyone had to do like the same like double and triple take of like, wait, is that front right loose? Was it? And it like I could see it, and then I'd be like, wait, am I looking too hard? So let me look at one of the other wheels going on. Like, am I just tricking myself? But it was loose, so he ended up coming back into the pits and gets it fixed, but then ends up a lap down. So now Alex is very far behind people.
Yeah.
At which point Checo makes the decision that he's going to decide to just like take a trip into the gravel, which was really fun. Made it out. Route. Yeah, he took the scenic route, took a little bit of a beach day.
A beach day.
Yeah, he kept going. He didn't DNF. But right after that, so like this Alex Albon Checo stuff is like happening at the same time. Alex Albon's wheel is loose. He ends up going back into the pits. He's back out. He's a lap down. Checo's in the gravel. But then while Checo's in the gravel, Alex Albon's like, let me actually go back to the pits and DNF really fast. So Alex Albon DNF'd, meaning Logie Bear was the only Williams to finish the race. And I'm going to take my wins where I can get them.
Doesn't matter where, he was the only one.
He was the top Williams finisher. If you think about it. If you think about it and you don't think about it critically.
If you don't think about it critically, like don't ask any follow-up questions, it's great.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking questions at this time, but that is the conclusion that I've come to.
Oh yeah, and the Wi-Fi's out. You can't look up those questions.
Yeah. Please don't fact check me.
Please don't fact check me. This is a no fact check zone.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a space for fun, happiness,
our twisted reality.
Yeah. What is that? Yeah, our twisted reality. That's what this is. Welcome. And then Fernando was behind all race. He decided to take a pit stop at like lap 52 out of 53.
Yeah,
and I was like,
just stop.
At first I was like, are you going for fastest lap? But then I was like, you only get a point for fastest lap if you're already getting points. So like, what are we doing? So maybe I don't know. Pit stop practice. And Lando.
Oh, they said that though, didn't they? They said that they're like
practice.
Yeah,
maybe
they're like
what it was.
I'm sure Lawrence was thrilled with pit stop practice.
Yeah. Lando was really, really close to Max in like the last 10 laps of the race. It like really came alive. But the final podium was Max P1, Lando P2, Charles P3. So our starting three, which this track is not great for overtaking. So it's not shocking.
Yeah. And then we're going into another track that's not great for
another track that's hard for overtaking. But Max beat Lando by 7/10. So less than a second. That's like one of the closest gaps. And just to give you an idea of where we're at, and I think this might be giving all of us false hope. So sorry in advance for doing this to you. But Max's margins of victory this season. So all the races he's won this season. In Bahrain, he won by 22 seconds. In Saudi, he won by 13 seconds. In Japan, he won by 12 seconds. In China, he won by 13 seconds. And at Imola, he won by 7/10.
Wow.
Are we closing the gap?
Don't say anything. We're not. Jamie and I are not saying anything.
I'm not making any conclusions because we're cursed.
We are not even going to look at the jaws of victory. We're not even going to look at them.
No, I'm not making eye contact with the jaws of victory at this moment.
No.
I am. What says it? Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm not looking the gift horse in the mouth.
Which I never understood that saying, honestly. I looked at my ring light and now I looked at my ring light and now my eyes are watering.
All right, we gotta wrap this up. Things are falling apart quickly over here.
We gotta go.
But big weekend in racing. We have Monaco. For our East Coast friends, I'm sorry, the only times that I pull are for the East Coast friends.
We're the only ones that matter.
If you sound off in our DMs and you want me to pull for another time zone, just let us know.
Give Jamie a weird time zone to pull for.
It's like a random one.
Yeah.
But for our East Coast friends, Monaco quali is 10 a.m. on Saturday, and the race is 9 a.m. on Sunday. A solid time to watch a race. And
absolutely exquisite. Big fan.
On Sunday, the Indy 500 is at 12:30. So
that'll be a long day. Yeah,
it's a full day of racing. Last year, I brought a bunch of friends home to our parents' house. And it was like, oh, fun beach Memorial Day weekend, haha. And then I was like, surprise, on Sunday we have to wake up at 9 a.m. for Monaco, and then we're also gonna have to watch the Indy 500, which is several hours. So, yay, everyone!
Actually, you're not gonna see the beach at all. You're just gonna sit inside.
Yeah, we're all just gonna sit and watch racing. So the 8500 is at 12:30, and then the Coke 600 is after that. That's NASCAR. I did not pull times for that one, but that should be really exciting. And also, Kyle Larson is racing in the Indy 500. He qualified very well, and he is going to attempt to race in the Indy 500, hop on a plane, get to, I think, North Carolina is where the Coke 600 is, and then race in the Coke 600, which will be cool. which has been done a couple
Yeah,
times before, but
it's
it's such a
in
feat
Charlotte,
in Charlotte. Yeah.
North
So
Carolina.
that'll be a fun one to
Um,
keep
did you
tabs.
also, before we give our ideas for podiums, did you see those two NASCAR drivers get into a full-on brawl?
Yeah.
Dude, somebody legit, it was on, it like got picked up so much, like it was on the Pat McAfee
Because
show,
they
and
were straight up
Pat
beating.
McAfee was like, that guy that just tackled that guy in the background, he definitely played offensive line. Like he went full shoulder down right
It was
through the dude.
middle of the paddock, and it was Kyle Busch, and I'm not sure who the other person was. And
Yeah.
they were like full closed fist punching. And then the entire like group, like pit lane, there's media watching. I was like, what
They're
is
just standing there because they're literal. It's like real media. It's just like, where
yeah.
do we look?
Like Jack, if we were there, what would we have done? Like I don't know what I would have done.
I think I would have ran away.
I
I'm
think,
not good
yeah,
in those situations.
yeah, especially because races are already so overstimulating. And then like
Oh my god, I
witnessing
would be
that,
done. I think I would have after that if I went to a race, like I'm already so mentally exhausted after a race. I think I don't know if I would make it to the hotel. I think I would fall asleep under a tree.
we'd have to like take a break.
Yeah, I would need a break.
We'd have to go like sit down. So yeah, crazy,
I don't
crazy,
know.
crazy. There was like everyone was like F1 drivers should start doing this, and I was like, I don't think I could handle that.
I don't want the ick of having to watch them try to throw a
Yeah,
punch. You know
no,
what I'm saying? Like
no,
NASCAR drivers, maybe even Indy car drivers could throw a punch.
the throw punch. Yeah,
Yeah, and they do a proper punch, like put their like hips into it. I don't want to watch an F1 driver in an attempt to throw a punch.
I
It would
just
give
had
me an
like
ick.
a visual flash of like George Russell trying to punch, and I just
I feel like
yeah,
there would be
I don't
certain
need to see
people,
that.
George Russell included, who would like immediately fists, like he would go into the block and he'd be like dodging. You
Like
know what I'm
what? Yeah,
saying? Yeah, like I think there's certain people on the grid who know how to block and dodge,
yeah.
not necessarily know how to throw a punch.
I will say there are a couple that I think I'd be fully confident in, like they could throw a punch and like land it very nicely. Fernando Alonso, um,
You know
but
who I think could throw a punch? Pierre Gasly's like the esports, his avatar and the new.
no, some of the ones their avatars. That's we never even mentioned that, but the new avatars for the new it's F123 game. Some of
Yeah.
them are so
No,
so scary. They look so scary.
Pierre Gasly's is nightmare fuel, dude. Absolute nightmare fuel. I'm trying to think of Fernando Alonso's was pretty scary too.
Yeah, Carlos looks
Lando's
great.
looked pretty spot on. I think Lando's looked pretty spot on. I think Lewis looked good.
Yeah,
I think Char looked fine. I'm trying to think. I just really think of Pierre's. Pierre's really freaked me out.
spooky, spooky, spooky,
Spooky kooky. Okay,
spooky,
moving
kooky,
on.
ooky. Okay, we got to get going.
We're gotta go.
All right, podium predictions. Are we doing? Do you want to do 500 podium prediction and then quali and then race?
Yeah. Oh, we're doing quali too.
Oh, let's just do race then. Yeah, because we have 500, so we'll just do
Okay.
race.
Let's do 500 first.
Okay.
I'm gonna go first.
All right.
Because I'm gonna do just the people that I like. So I'm gonna do Pato, Willpower, oh my god, why can't I think of anyone else? Oh, I'll go oh my god, what's his last name? Oh my god, I can see his face. We literally talked to him and he was so nice. Um
Marcus?
Yep. Marcus
Marcus
Erickson.
Erickson.
I switched his name. I think I'm dyslexic. Yeah. So I'm going Pato, Willpower, Marcus Erickson.
All right. All right. I'm going to go my favorite bestie, Mr. Alex Pillow. P1. And then I'm going to go Alexander Rossi, willpower.
Alexander Rossi. Okay.
Alexander Rossi. Yep, that's my prediction. All right, over in F1 world.
F1 world, it's going to quali is going to be the same as the podium. So, I'm going to be delusionally positive.
Theme
Charles Leclerc. Max. Lando.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is Charles Leclerc has fantastic one-lap speed. He's probably the best qualifier on the grid. And at Monaco, it's really where you qualify.
So it's 100% where you qualify. So I'm hoping for him to have a super clean, perfect quali and also have a super clean, perfect race so he can stick with his one pole. What about you?
Yes. I think I also have to. We got to go for the hometown hero. So I'm also going to say
Oscar Piastri.
Oh my god. Charles Leclerc, his son, his time will come.
His son
Oscar.
My
son, my boy.
We need to go.
Charles Leclerc, P2. P2 Carlos, P3 Lando.
Oh, you're real delusional positivity land.
I'm just trying to think of like what podium would I want to see right before I get to go watch the Indy 500, and that's the podium I'd want to see.
So put you in the best mood for the day.
That would put me in the best headspace to watch the Indy 500. And that's that on that. We have to go.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your week. Remember to DM us your fun stories and all of the things. Follow us also if you don't, so that you can DM us at Formula One on all socials. And we will talk to you next week. Love you so much. Love you, love you, love you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.